My wife, myself, 8 children, moved here to Russia 9 weeks ago, and we are here on a tourist visa. That tourist visa allows us to stay in Russia for 90 days. So that's coming up pretty quick. We're allowed another 3 weeks, and then we have to leave.
So that is the father of a family of 10, Canadian, treading around Russia with snow piled high. And again, this is a Canadian family that moved to Russia specifically because Canada had too much LGBTQ propaganda, according to them. It was too woke. They didn't like to see the rainbow flag. And last time we did this story, this was a while ago with John. They had their assets frozen and posted a video saying they wanted to leave Russia because it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, that they couldn't access the money that they needed. They didn't know, clearly they didn't understand how everything worked in Russia. And soon after, they posted an apology video about that video because again, they run a YouTube channel. We live in hell. So they had an apology video, which was very much sort of an indicator that the Russian government not happy with their new immigrants talking smack about the country that they wanted to call home. And there you hear, he's saying we have to leave, right? We have to leave because of our visa. Well, if anyone has traveled abroad, you know you can't stay more than 3 months without actually having to exit and go back in. Clearly, they didn't do their homework, but here's more details about that before we go back to video. After 9 glorious weeks of waiting in lines to fill out forms and get blood and urine tests, getting their assets frozen and sleeping 10 people to a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 sick kids and a broken sink, this is according to them, the family discovered they cannot obtain residency without passing a Russian language test. With their visas expiring, the Feenstras must now leave Russia for at least 3 months before trying again. In the video, the father, Arend, details just another little issue with all that. Take a look.
Financially, flying with a huge family easily cost $10,000 for us to leave here and another $10,000 to come back. It's roughly $1,000 a ticket, depending on where you're going, or more. So I feel kind of caught in a bit of a dilemma where we feel like we need to leave because we're not prepared for the test, and we don't really want to go. I mean, this is where we want to be, for one. For two, we don't really want to spend all that money needlessly. It's just Anneesa and I that have to write the test and pass. The other reason why are we not ready for it yet? Well, there's a lot going on. If you have 8 children, it's a busy house. So especially Anneesa, she does all the editing for our YouTube channel. She looks after the children at home. Lots going on.
What? Okay, so in all of this, we're now learning the reason they cannot stay is because they have to pass. Well, they have to exit first and come back, which, yeah, when you have 8 kids and there's 2 of you, that is expensive. You should have thought of that before you left. Maybe you can cross the border into Ukraine. What's going on there? Nothing's happening there. Super chill. It's only wartime in the middle of effing Russia, and you can't go there. Maybe don't move to a country embroiled in war, but I digress. It's a quicker trip over to Ukraine. But on top of that, they gotta pass a language test. Did you know in Russia, they speak Russian? Insane, I know. Oh, but not everyone has to pass the test, that's a lot. He and his wife only, but they haven't been able to because his wife is busy, get this, taking care of all the kids and editing their YouTube channel. Bro, what are you doing, dog? What do you actually do? So you film yourself, don't help with the kids, and you don't edit your content? It's just so wild. The content that, by the way, has gotten them into trouble. They are now asking for support. They need money. But of course, to prove that they still love Russia, because again, they're content creators in Russia. Here's a little, let's go to graphic 4. Just making sure you know, they still want to squash the Western media with truth. Like, that's like their eyes always been on the ball. Squash Western media with truth. We need your help. I love you, Russia. It sucks here. I love you, Russia. Yaz, my God. Thoughts?
Yeah. First of all, this is the most Canadian guy I've ever heard. But also, I remember watching this when I think it was John who covered it the first time, and I thought it was so hilarious. The idea that someone even thinks that they can just escape gay people is insane. And I think it speaks very much to their intelligence. But look, I'll admit, I find these people strangely relatable in one specific way. I live in Texas, and I probably tell my fiance at least once a week that we need to move. Every inconvenience, I'm like, we got to move. We got to go. I can't be here. And who doesn't want to be in a place where they're surrounded by more like-minded people? But these people move to Russia, right? Yeah. Even when you are thinking of relocating somewhere that you think might be better, you have to consider, is this a little bit of the grass is always greener syndrome? What would I be actually sacrificing if I move to this place? Also, what does it say about me that I find Russia and living under the Russian government to be an attractive place? No offense to the Russian people or to the Russian culture itself, but the Russian government, at some point you have to be like, oh, it's not great that that's what I think is good,
Well, also,
but of course,
if you're gonna make your money from doing content, look, they've got like over 100,000 subscribers, like, on YouTube.
Not a very well thought out plan.
That's more than Bitchuation Room. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Look, they got content. People click on their videos. But if you're gonna say we're a family of 10 that moved, we're like the Duggars in Russia, except we hate gay people even more, then know that you're moving to a country that has incredibly strict laws around freedom of speech, and that you can't just run your mouth about where you are. You can't do like a vlog living in Russia. There's a reason you don't, look, Edward Snowden might be there, but there's a reason we don't have like an Edward Snowden vlog where he's giving us the real lowdown about Russia. It's because he's a guest there. He's not allowed to do that. He's also, it's great that he can survive there. But you understand what I'm saying? It's just so funny. It's so wild. We're gonna be following them. We're gonna see this next Netflix show very soon. But obviously, go support them, I guess, if you would like. I would like to get their kids out of there, at least.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.